I'll be talking about setting up the best teaming architecture in Mendix, and Patrick will be talking about the Mendix AI Assistant MAIA. Kiran, I think you're good enough participants here. So first to start, we'll we'll start with the agenda and then introductions, and meanwhile, if some more people come in, we'll let them in. But thank you everyone for joining this meetup. Um, we are this is among the first 5 meetups that we are doing from Canada, but there have been many in the US. So for North America, it is a big number. We don't even know what it is, but um, for Canada, this is the third one, fourth, third one for Canada. Okay, so I have Patrick here with me. He's in my office today in Edmonton. He's traveled from Montreal to attend this meetup so that we could do it together. And thank you, Patrick. Um, I'll be talking about setting up the best an amazing theming architecture in Mendix. And Patrick will be talking about the Mendix AI Assistant MAIA. So we'll try to keep our speeches short so that we don't take a lot of your time on Friday evening and you guys are able to go home faster. But I'll be taking about 30 minutes. Patrick will be taking about 30 minutes, and then we'll follow it by some Q&A, and then if people are no rush, we can leave the chat open for probably 15-20 more minutes for everyone to network. So a little about myself. Uh, I started Goldener almost 3 years ago, and we are specializing in Mendix consulting only. So that's our expertise. We don't do any other type of software consulting or any other programming languages as well. So Mendix is our specialty, and we have a team of about 8 people. We're spread throughout Canada, a couple in the US, and then few in India as well. Um, and we have helped clients from the banking industry, fintech, real estate brokerages, auction industries, and also in sports. So that's about us, and stay until the end because we have some exclusive offer at the end of this speech as well. So getting to our topic, I mean, UI UX is generally not a tough topic. It is pretty easy. You write some HTML, write some CSS, and you get done with it. There comes some special challenges with Mendix because there are many things that comes pre-built. Like for example, Mendix has its own Atlas UI framework that comes out of the box, and um, we have heard common pain points from people that they say they have issues with that their apps that look exactly like Atlas UI, even if after a lot of work, or some people say they have inconsistent styling across their pages, poor responsive, or their apps are not mobile responsive, or they're not able to get them to do it the best way, and then more issues with performance as well. And as we know, every developer has different styles, right? Most Mendix app developers, when we go to hire them, most companies try to look for the best um, Mendix developer in terms of how much knowledge they have in terms of microflows and database and performance optimization and all those things. But we never really check a developer's UI UX skills. So that's and with Mendix, you're getting all full stack developers. So development is so fast with Mendix that you need someone who is good at everything. Now to be able to do those things, you need to be testing those skills as well. There's nothing wrong with having a bad UI UX, but there's definitely a lot of cost involved. Um, it includes like people are not happy or user adoption is a problem. Um, if you're selling it to someone or if you have a SaaS product built on Mendix, your clients will be always unhappy. You have a competitive disadvantage as well, and then your springs will be filled with with bugs because everyone wants a pixel perfect design, or once it goes into production, everyone wants to be looking great on their computer, and then you might have tested everything for a 27-inch screen, but you never tested for a 13-inch screen. So then that's when you start seeing all the bugs in production. And we did a recent poll, and then we figured that 67% of like Mendix developers struggle with custom styling that goes beyond Atlas UI, right? Because Atlas UI is primary color is blue and everything is, and you already recognize what Atlas UI is. So most people are not able to bring in their custom styling, especially not able to do everything that's responsive in nature. And if they do those things, they're not able to keep it consistent throughout the app. So like 5 developers would go in and create 5 different classes for the same thing. Um, and then their CSS stylings as well. So I'm and these are challenges with everyone, but the main challenge here comes with people not understanding the Mendix's architecture or team architecture, right? Because its foundation is Atlas UI. What people try to do is, oh, they don't like Atlas UI, so they try to replace it, or they try to build something apart from Atlas UI. But the way I see Atlas UI is, it is more of a companion. So instead of trying to replace it or trying to break it, my suggestion always is to go and extend it, right? Build on top of it, and see how you can get the best out of the existing Atlas framework, because Atlas gives you designs for example, 5 different button types. Now, your buttons are not going to change a whole lot after from on top of what Atlas gives you. You might want to change its colors, you might want to change its rounded corners, you might want to change put borders, you want to maybe not fill the background color and all those things. But those are styling, those are like 5 lines of CSS, right? 5 different things. So might as well build on top of Atlas framework and go ahead from there. And to do that, um some people end up um doing customizations in the Atlas UI module itself, right? But it's a module that's given by Mendix from their marketplace, and it updates or it Mendix updates it quite frequently. So if you go and customize the marketplace module, then you'll never be able to update it. And if you are never be able to update it, in sense, Mendix won't stop you. But if you update it, then all your customization will go away. So my best approach is to go ahead and start by creating a custom UI resource module and then adding your styling to it, so that if your company has 15 different Mendix applications, and you can have a consistent UI through all of those Mendix applications, because you create a, a good enough theme in one module and or in one Mendix app, and then you export it and use it in rest of the 15 or 14 Mendix apps. And so that's one thing. The other strategy is easy to use folder structure. That helps you with setting up everything in terms of adoption. Like, if one person is creating styling in your app, and if that person does it really well, makes everything structured, then the other developers who are working on the back end or stuff, or even making pages, they would easily be able to find few things or find whatever they want if it exists. Otherwise, they can go and create it in the same manner. And once you understand that your Mendix's theme, the second most important thing there is your page layouts. Because if you look at a user's experience, you would want them your pages to be looking the same way throughout the app. So what you would do is you would create one page layout that is the that has a consistent header, that provides a consistent header and footer throughout the app. and while doing so, what you can do is um, make the layout in such a way that your apps behave responsively, so that you don't need one layout for desktop, another one for tablets, and third one for mobile. So um, setting up the page layout really sets up the foundation of your whole theme. which I'll give you a small demo of what we discussed until now. Um, but if you uh, so if you look at the if you look at the sample Mendix app which I created to show you guys in this app in this meetup, but what I have done is, so before that, if you look at it, every Mendix app will have this Atlas core module which has all the styling and what most people do, and this Atlas core has all the styling that Atlas UI framework provides, this module. And this styling section here is what your app's theme is, right? Now, as a best practice, what I prefer doing is setting up another styling module or another module and then setting up as a UI resource. You do that by creating any module and then taking or right clicking on it and marking it as a UI resource module, so it becomes the theme of your application. The way this helps is it becomes easy for you to take this theme and and for example export it as a module package and so many other, and then import it in many other applications by just again right clicking and doing import module package. So now your theme becomes reusable theme throughout all your Mendix applications. You don't have to worry about anything else, right? You don't have to have worry about creating the same theme again and again, or figuring out ways to export your theme from this styling over here. So that's the reason I like this approach. And I like to do minimal things here. Um, Mendix by default would give you a huge list of custom variables, but which we'll talk about in the next section. So I'm leaving it open ended for now. And in the theme, like I said, I like setting up custom folders for everything. So the page layout is what I've created over here. Is this is how your all your pages would look like. This is the basic structure where the center is a navigation menu, left side is the logo, right side is the sign out button, but you could add more things here. And then the main is the section where on each page you could add your own content. And footer is again what is available on all the pages. And this so main is the placeholder that I've said to be used on all pages. Now, if you see here on the left side, also you will see a separate navigation menu, and you will see this small hamburger menu button. So what I have done is uh, I've made a functionality where this sidebar menu can be opened and closed based on this hamburger menu. Um, and what I've also done is made sure that this menu button uh, is available or is hidden on tablet and desktop devices. So I've clicked on these two, and it adds hide desktop, hide tablet classes. So your mobile menu does not show up on these bigger screen devices. And if you go to if you go- if and this menu is for desktop and tablets only, so I put a class to hide it on the phone. And this is how the design will look. But if I do smaller devices, you see I see the hamburger menu. On bigger ones we don't see it. Just to give one of the pages as an example to see um to show how the layout looks. So when you go to create a page, you open its property and you select which layout you want to use, right? So layout is nothing but a reusable template, basically. I've decided to use a responsive type of layout, and the name of my layout is Mendix Mastery underscore user. And once you take that, you see the headers and footers section are frozen on these pages because you cannot change it per pages. You can only change it on the layout. Whereas the main section or of the page, you kept it as a placeholder. So that placeholder is what you can edit on the page, right? So this way you can maintain consistency of having your headers and footers being same throughout your Mendix application, all the pages. And So yeah, that's about um, setting up a new theme, folder structure, page layout, theme prioritization, and all those things. Um, and then and I showed you what custom variables said. Custom variables are nothing but how we how in a programming language like Java, JavaScript, or any other ones where you can set up variables and assign values to it. It's the same way in CSS as well, where you set up custom variables and then use it throughout all your style sheets wherever you imported it. So if the reason I like this approach is because you can set your brand identity over here and just follow it throughout the application. So and in future, if you want to change your brand color, it's easy because you have to change it only in one custom variable file and it will reflect throughout your application. And it is not only about the colors, but can be about font or spacing or anything. So basically your whole um you can ask your Figma designer or any UX designer, any tools that you use, if not Figma, to give you a brand guideline, and you can take those guidelines and make it as a part of your custom variables. Um and the second thing I love to use a lot is mixins. Mixins are also a CSS concept. It's nothing new, and it's not persist. Like it does not relate only to Mendix. It's throughout CSS. But what it helps you do is it gives you reusable patterns. So um, so that for example, if you have 10 different or 5 different kind of buttons, and you want to you just want to change their colors based on what scenario you want to show. If you want to show, for example, a success event, or if you want to show a failure event, or if you want to use it as a primary button, then you just want to change the colors, and everything else you want it to remain the same. Um, so what you can do is, if you look at this example, made a class called button variant, and then we pass the color, the background color, and the font color as two variables in it, and then you can and now you can what you can do is your consistent styling throughout everything, right? And anytime you want to call a new kind of a button, you just put this class and call it with parameters. And this is one example, but I'm going to show you more examples on how you can use mixins for defining your breakpoints. Breakpoints meaning, in terms of CSS, breakpoints are screen sizes. Like you want, let's go to the demo. It will be more easier for me to explain. But um, so okay, first let's start with the CSS variables or custom variables. So when you create a new app for the first time, this custom variables file will be loaded with a lot of variables by default. What I like to do is I take everything from here and I put it in my custom theme, right? And then import my custom theme in the apps theme. That way, any changes I want to make are in my um theme only, right? All my branding and everything is gets set up from the theme, so that when I export my theme, everything goes along with this one, and none of the things remain in the apps styling as well. So if we look here, I've changed the brand primary. By default, Mendix gives you as a blue color. I'll change probably the font as well. Font family, yeah, updated that as well. Um, and then regarding the breakpoints, if you look at it, Mendix gives you a way to define these breakpoints, right? So you can say anything, um, that like breakpoint for a smaller screen is 480, for small medium is 556, for medium is or extra small, small, medium, large, XL. These are the 5 breakpoints it gives. So um so what and then what Mendix does, it also gives you a breakpoint. So this is the lower boundary. and then it gives you a higher boundary as well. Like, so what excess max is basically um small screen size minus 1 pixel, right? So um sorry, small here. Okay, so this would go up to 575. So if you want to say, if you want to consider any screen sizes between XS and XS Max, that's what you would use, right? And the way this is helpful is because, again, this is the advantage of custom variables, where if you want to change breakpoints throughout your application, you just have to come and change these 5 variables, and it will start reflecting throughout your app. Um, the other way, the additional thing that I like to do in this is using Mixins. Um, so I would like to go ahead and further define different things, is because every time you want to use breakpoints, then you have to write media queries saying, oh, is media max width small or up to this size, right? And media minimum width, maximum width. So I don't want my developers to go and write media queries for every class they create. So what we do is we create an additional class using Mixin, and we call it for phone or Spal's phone for tablets. So what, and then what you'd already defined where the phone class should be applied, and it is between these two screen sizes. Now once you've done this, whatever styling you pass as a parameter for phone, it will be it will be added to that screen sizes content. So one of the examples for that would be um let's see here. Okay, so I've defined a container, and on this container, I want all containers to have um a 1 pixel solid black border, and with a border radius of 2 pixel. But when I do that, I want to add padding as well. But padding should be different for different phone sizes or different screen sizes. Sorry. So like small phones would get no spacing, phones would get small spacing, tablets would get medium, large tablet would get extra large, or sorry, large spacing, and desktops also would get large spacing. So what happens is this padding spacing large goes and gets applied in this content, right? Or sorry, we took the wrong example, but in this content, because we added 4 tablets, and again, this one gets converted into and gets put in with the MX container. So um but that's how we make everything easy. Now imagine you had to write media queries here everywhere. Once you wrote media queries, so we're avoiding those things basically. Um, that's uh, that's the mix in and breakpoints for us. And what else? For breakpoints also we did. So, and once I've implemented all of this, say for example, I put a border around this particular container here, and if I go to design mode, open properties, you will see that I put MX container, so the padding and everything applies. But the moment I remove MX container from here, the padding goes away. This becomes the default styling. And right, so uh, and now if I add it back, my styling with all the padding and everything gets applied with the black boundary as well. And then this changes as I go smaller on the screen. And I've done the same thing with the buttons as well. So okay, so if you for the regular buttons also I've added different classes, and then defined a button variant. So this is from the similar example of what we saw in the slides. So this is how mixins are powerful. Um, and breakpoints are also powerful, where your styling you can define all the styling based on breakpoints, and reusable breakpoints are through custom variables are very helpful, because you just change 5 different lines and it gives you it it op- it updates everything if you want. And and the last thing thing I want to discuss is about design properties. Now, if there are a few things that are commonly used in your application, then you I wouldn't want my developers to even go and keep changing or keep adding custom classes or create new classes or go and search for an existing class that has it. I would like to give them as a drop down option and when they're building Mendix application, because Mendix is everything about low code. So for example, if I were using this text box, and if I have these five details, but say all my throughout my design, I also have a lot of things where I could, this is not a good example, but say we put a lot of borders around text boxes, then I would like to give that as an option in my app so that the developers don't have to add the classes manually over here, even if they know if it's usable. So a drop down option is still better in that cases. Um, and that's why um, what I generally or and design properties help you because they make you don't have to worry about CSS. You just once you create a JSON configuration once, and then you're good to go. Um, so and when you look at it over here, I've added. It's easy again to define design properties. So I go to my app explorer, and I have few. So this design property is what Mendix gives by default, but I have gone and added my custom um, design properties. So I've added some for example, the containers. I'm sorry. Uh, this is okay. This is what I have added. Yes. So uh, for for div containers. So for the containers, what I've added is a border drop down and again some description. But what kind of border they want, right? If they want a 1 pixel thickness border, or 2 pixel thickness, or a 4 pixel draw. So if I go and select a container here, I'm able to choose what my border is. If I wanted 1 to 4 pixel border, so you remove this. So if you see here, I can do a 4 pixel uh, border as well. And and then the second property I've added is also about okay. And then the second one I've added is border radius. So you can set radius for your borders. Right. These are just these are smaller examples, but depending on your application, you could make them more and more complex as well, or more easy to use. Um, and then for the same containers, I've also added shadow depth if you want to. So these are the these are the kind of things you can do with design properties, where essentially whatever you select um, becomes a part of your styling, and it becomes easy to add different styling just from drop down and not worrying about custom styling. So yeah, that's about all the best practices we use to make sure that we have architected our Mendix applications easily. These look small, but what happens is these give you a lot of peace of mind, because you can maintain consistency throughout your application. That's one thing. And second is, when you have an efficient architecture going on, it gives you good performance in terms of how your application works and how your team performs as well, right? Um, and then and some of the common performance killers, as probably anyone who has done any CSS already know that um like when you create overly specific selectors, which is like, oh, like I don't know, you take like five different hierarchies to just to put a styling is definitely not performant, rather. And instead, I would suggest you use the the direct approach. So as long as you're able to use just one selector, by even if you have to make a new class name, it's still easier or better performance. and then the unused style imports. You're loading like heavy fonts, unoptimized images, and all these are basic CSS strategies. I'm sure everyone here already knows about if you are a senior or a higher Mendix developer. And and yeah, my suggestion is always in terms of planning your action is start early, as you should be thinking about styling as soon as you initiate your Mendix application, not wait until the end um to come up with start styling. So um and then the second thing is um you'll start with a strategy, build slowly or build incrementally, not even slowly, but as you build more pages in the application, you can keep adding more things once. But before that, you should have a structure ready, and then test continuously. You to document everything. That's really important, so that um more more than if more important than documenting everything is the folder structure, because that's what makes easier for someone to go find something. Um, and then definitely measuring the impact. And yes, I have a message from Abdul. I missed showing the theme prioritization. Yes, theme prioritization generally comes up from when you open your app. So when you open your app settings and you go to theme, is where you can prioritize your theme. It works the other way around. So whatever theme is at the bottom gets the highest priority. And then everything, and it extends everything that's about them. And all the theme modules that you have, or UI resource modules that you have in your app, will all show up here. Um, so yeah, that's about the action plan. And the special offer that I wanted to say is, I forgot to put the link here, but I'll put it in the chat. Where if you um like anyone who joined today's session, if you need um any kind of help or UI UX consultation, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll do a 30 minutes free consultation with you on your Mendix application. Normally it's about $200 or even more, but it's a special thank you to everyone who has joined here. And 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 if you want to stay connected and learn more about Mendix with me, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn or follow me. And then I have a Mendix newsletter that I started last month. It's about Mendix Architects Journal. So um, I have more than 700 subscribers on it, so which is really good. There's more and more people wanting to learn about Mendix, and that really makes me happy. So if you're not subscribed to it, feel free to do so again. You can always go to my website. And Patrick and I are hosting the Capture the Flag event in Montreal. It's an in-person event. It's on October 9th and 10th. So everyone here is invited. We have limited seats there. 50 participants. Yeah, we have 50 participants there. So that's about yeah. So we'll look forward to seeing most of you there as well. Right. And with this, I think I end my session, and we'll have a Q&A after Patrick's session as well, and then we'll have some time for networking as well. And in the meanwhile, if there's any questions in the chat, I'll go ahead and answer them. And yes, Brian, you asked if I can send this project as an MPK file. Yes, definitely I can do that. You can uh, I will figure out a way of how you can send me your email, and I'll add you to my team server on this project. And anyone else who wants access to this MPK file, I'll let me know, and I'll add all of you to the team server. Right. I'll give to Patrick for now. But I forgot to give Patrick the presenter access, so I'm going to do that right now. Make a presenter. Okay. So good.
Just going to open my microphone. Maybe you're muted, I think. Yes, I should open it. Open the microphone. And need to need to I think I need to share the entire screen. It's correct. Okay. Sorry. We will start public. I should shift. So you can yes? Yes, I can. Okay. So uh okay, so I'm going to try to do my best. So I don't know if the majority of people are English speaker, so I can continue in English. So usually what we do for the meetup, we have one part in English, one part in French, but I can try my best just to present this part in English. So my apologize. Okay, I'm going to speak with you about MAIA, your virtual buddy from the Mendix application. Festival for the beginning, I'm just going to talk about the history of the rapid evolution of artificial intelligence and its impacts on software development. So it's born as a concept in 1950s. Artificial intelligence has had a short-to-like evolution, backed by periods of enthusiasm and winters of disillusions. It was truly from the 2010s with the advent of deep learning and access to massive amounts of data that artificial intelligence became meteoric revolutions. So this translation has quickly and profoundly impacted the world of software development. Once confirmed to specific tasks on expert systems, artificial intelligence is now permitting their entire software creation life cycle. So from the design phase, artificial intelligence-based tools can assist in project planning and estimation. So during coding, intelligence assists like programming, copilots suggest line of codes, detect errors in real time, and automates the writing of unit tests, considerably speeding up the world of development. So debugging, often a tedious step, is also being transformed by algorithms capable to identify and suggesting correction for complex bugs. So furthermore, artificial intelligence optimize testing phases by analyzing the result for more robust and effective quality assurance. So Meldix and all of that is a leading player in low cost development because Mendix has fully embraced artificial intelligence to redefine its development experience. So the platform now integrates artificial intelligence capabilities at its core, onboarded by its intelligent assistant MAIA. So far from behind a mere gadget, MAIA acts as a true co-pilot for developers, whether novice or experimented. So it provides real-time contextual assistance, suggests development best practices, and automates repetitive tasks also. So by analyzing millions of anonymized application patterns, Mendix AI is able to recommend the most relevant application logic, accelerate the creation of workflows, and even generate entire section of the application. The artificial intelligence assist approach not only drastically reduce development times, but also improves the quality and consistency of the created application, positioning Mendix as a pioneer in the area of artificial intelligence augmented software development. So this is the first picture of uh, the artificial intelligence. So if we go further, so in reality, Mendix, the low-code platform, has integrated artificial intelligence into its development environment, transforming the way applications are created and developed. So this integration has evolved over time, moving from early targeting initiatives to a more comprehensive and versatile artificial intelligence assist naming MAIA. So the goal of this presentation is to explore this journey, highlighting the key stage, features, and benefits of each phase. So because it was not done in one step, so the first items was in 2018. Mendix introduced Mendix Assist, um, marking its first significant initiative to integrate the artificial intelligence into the local development environment. So announced it as a AI-powered teammate for developers, Mendix Assist aims to improve productivity and facilitates development. And the key features include the MX Assistant Logic Board and the MX Assist Best Practice Board, each designed to assist developers in specific aspects of their work. So this is the first. So about the two boards, the MX Assist Logic Board provides real-time contextual suggestions for modeling microflows, a central part of Mendix development. So it analyzes millions of anonymized application logic to detect and learn best practice patterns, offering highlight accurate recommendation. So the percentage is now 95% of accuracy. On the logic board further automates developments by pre-filling the parameters of suggested actions. So I spoke a lot of theoretical items, but we are going to demoing after. So the second item was Mendix Assist Practice Bot. He acts as a virtual co-developer by inspecting application in real time to identify development anti-patterns. So it guides developers on how to resolve their anti-patterns, thereby ensuring the quality, performance, and consistency of the application. And also these tools was valuable not only for beginner developers, but also for experienced ones by ensuring compliance with Mendix development standard. So MAIA, Mendix continue to invest in the artificial intelligence and expanding its capabilities beyond simple recommendation. So a major milestone was the introduction of Mendix, the machine learning kit in Mendix 10, which allow companies to integrate their own custom machine learning models into low-code application. So this evolution provided greater flexibility and opened up the possibilities for creating intelligent application. So now we arrive to MAIA. So MAIA, this is in 2024 that Mendix took a major step forward by introducing MAIA. MAIA is for Mendix AI Assistant. So it was in Mendix release 10.12. So MAIA is a generative AI assistant designer to a developer through the entire application development lifecycle, marking a more integrated and comprehensive approach to AI assistance. So the Neel changed from Mendix Assist. So we showed before in the previous slides that we have two assistants. So now it's Mendix AI Assistant, so MAIA, reflects broader ambition for AI capabilities within the platform. So I just represent MAIA as a beautiful woman. I don't know if it's a girl or a boy, but possibly no gender. I don't know. The MAIA encompasses a broader set of AI capabilities going beyond simple recommendation to include thought generation, context understanding, and conversational assistances. So the key feature are, and I write it here. So the MAIA chat, so an integrated conversational assistant to answer Mendix development, develop, sorry, to is going to assist the developer to ask about Mendix development questions. So there is also MAIA Learns that it's designed to help user quickly learn core Mendix concepts and get connected with Studio Pro. We have MAIA Learn, MAIA Explain. It's a AI-powered tools to help user understand microflow and nanoflows. We have domain models. So it's going to help you for pages, OQL, query generation, and text input. We have translation generator to facilitate application localization. And we have improved recommendations for best practices, logic, UI, and workflows. So MAIA is in a constant evolution. So MAIA continues to evolve rapidly with new features and regular improvements. So example includes multi-language support for MAIA Chat on the Mendix Studio Pro IDE, improvement to the clarity and effectiveness of user stories, support for converting microflows to nanoflows on the vice versa, summarization of capabilities for discussion on the Mendix community forums, and rewriting features to adjust the tone of the effects. So after all these layers, I think it's time for a demo. So I'm trying to demo you some different items that I presented. Let's go to each, I think, and builds in the order of the list of items that I want to demo you. Just not to forget them. Okay, so I'm going to switch to Mendix. So everybody see my thing? Okay. Okay, I just created a new project. It's an empty one, and I use Mendix 11 beta 2. So there is some bugs inside, some regression, but we can use it. So first step, so how we can activate MAIA. So there is some items that they are already activated, but we can go to edit, preferences, and if you go to new features, you have, I already checked it, but you can see you can activate or deactivate MAIA Explain, enable MAIA for domain models, enable MAIA for OQL generation. We have enable MAIA for pages. We have enable MAIA for workflow, enable translation generator. So I check some of them because I'm going to demo you them. So this is after checking or unchecking this option, you need to restart your modeler, your Mendix Studio. So I already done it. So the first thing that I can do, I can just chat because it's already open with MAIA, and I can ask some question. For example, how to create a REST call. How to create a REST call. So we show that MAIA is going to resolve. So on the response are going to be based on the learning path on the documentation provided by Mendix. So here I had all the steps that I need to follow now for creating a correct REST call. But I asked the question in English, but I can ask it in French also. We are going to ask another question. Comment changer la couleur d'un bouton? So how to change the color of the button? Oh, I make a mistake. But it understands because he answered me in French. And he say, okay, for changing the color of the button under Mendix, you can use the tabs side to the properties panel from the widget. This is a property of the widget. So you see that we can communicate with different on different languages. So this is the first example that I can provide by using MAIA chat. So based on that, we can switch to another topic. So now I want to create something. I want to create a model, but I'm not very good. So I just click on the domain models. And now I have MAIA for domain models. I'm going to click on it. And I want to do something. So I want to have to generate a new application. So I ask Gemini if it can suggest me some topic. And it just suggests to create a new model for managing a spaceship from Star Trek. So I'm going to ask MAIA to know if she's going to be able or it's going to be able to create it. So generate a data model to catalog spaceships, and we are going to provide some other instructions. Each ship has a name, a model, a maximum speed, and a crew capacity. So get to it, processing the request, exploring the possibilities, investigating, summarize. So we just expect that we can get something. So now we have one entity that is an created spaceship with a name, a model, a maximum speed, that is a decimal, and the crew capacity, it's an integer. So the type are correct. So it's nice. So we can add some other information. So for example, now I want to enrich the model that it has been created. So now associate it with a faction like the Empire or the Rebellion. Also add a manufacturer such as the Go Regal NG Portfolio. Okay, let's see what MAIA is going to do. One option. Okay, we show that the domain model has changed. So now we have the faction and we have a manufacturer. So it's correct. So the association has been created in a good way. And so I will see we can add many items, or we can ask for adding or modifying the model, and it's going to be created. So this is my example. So now what we can do, we can use another things. So I'm going to create a microflow here. Add microflow, very simple. I need we can actions spaceship get or create. Oops. So we can do something very simple. So in the same times, you show here is assistant of MAIA. When you have a blue point like that, is going to propose the next step. And this step is based on what the machine learning has learned on where we are in the microflow. So normally this is correct options that we can do. And effectively, the next step will be a decision, but not based on the current type. I'm just going to add first define what I want to do. So I want just to retrieve. I'm going to retrieve from database a Starship or anything, for example, Starship. I'm going to retrieve the first one. And my decision will be exist. So we are going to check functions, not empty. If it's not empty, I'm going to return it. If it's right, or if it's not existing, we're not going to create it. We can let it. It's going to operate to see it's correct, see what we want. And I'm going to return it, return the new sheet. So based on that, you see on the top of the screen, I have explained MAIA explain. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask MAIA, what is microflow is doing? So I click on it, and I expect that explanation. So this microflow to check if a spreadsheet entity already exists, retrieving it. If it doesn't, is going to create a new one. So this is the exact. So I know that it's a very simple example, but you can have a more complex microflow. And it was just for demoing the fact that we can just use the MAIA explain in this stream. So what we can do now, we can create a page. So now because I have these entities, I can go here. I can say, okay, now creating generate the page. We are going to create another page for the spreadsheet. If I go here, so it's been created. And also, if I edit it here, what I think my page is not perfect. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask MAIA. And now, here. So what I'm going to do, sorry, okay, yeah, I'm going to ask MAIA to change the design of my page. So is it possible to add a section on the top of this page that is it with containing the label by them. We can let it bring things. So the result is, as you can see, a section has been created on the top with the label my name. So it's very simple example. So now because I have this application only in English, it would be nice if I can translate it in French. So what I'm going to do, I am going to do language operation. Sorry, I want to language sentence. Okay, so I want to add another language. I need to search French. French Canada. Yeah. I just expect that this absolute activates. Sorry. French translate. Okay, it's not activate. So I need to restart it. Okay, I need to restart it or okay. So I need to restart my module. But anyway, I'm going to show you something else. So what we have also, if I have a look on another page, so for example, in the community command, where there is a lot of exchange, okay, we can also ask MAIA to summarize the content of this exchange. So instead of reading everything, so it's available under the forum, but it's not for all the exchange, only when there is some content. So we can ask for having a synthesis of that. So I think, except for the translation, I have shown you some example. If I go back to the presentation, because we need to stop it in few minutes. Yeah. So effectively, MAIA integrates the latest artificial intelligence, uh, the latest artificial intelligence trends to offer a state-of-the-art development experience. And the key trends include deeper integration of generative AI for further automated tasks on accelerated development, continuous improvement of recommendation also. And this is done by the algorithms through the analysis of millions anonymized application. So it's increased also the focus on governance and security to ensure responsible use, on extend support for the full software development life cycle for design to development. So thank you for listening and participating. Sorry for my English. And in the next development from Mendix, there is a lot of topics that they are going to arise, because the goal of Mendix is to provide or embed the artificial intelligence on each steps of the development. So there is a very nice feature that they are coming soon in the next release of Mendix. So I let you discover it, and thank you for following this presentation.
Thank you, everyone. We You'd have to unmute your microphone. Um, okay. I think we'll um thank you for everyone for listening to us patiently. We're not the best presenters out there, because we are developers at heart, but we try our best to spread the Mendix knowledge as much as we can. What what I'm going to do is going to open up microphones for everyone, because we don't have we have only 20 people, so I think we should be fine. Uh, but if you have any questions, we'd love to answer them. And um, if you if you I if you need the free consultation, I've given you a Google form, so you can click on that link um to and fill the form and request me for a free consultation. And then if you need access to my UI/UX demo application, you can drop me an email as well, so that I can give you access. I can add you to my team server, because it's just a demo application for this meetup. So I should be fine doing that. Yeah. But yeah, we'll open up for questions if you guys have any. And if you don't have any questions, then um we can do a general chat. Doesn't have to be a Q&A. You can stay here if you want us to ask anything about our Mendix journey, or how we build stuff on day to day. How much of non low code stuff we write, and all those things. Or we generally, right, we don't have to do that on a day-to-day basis, but we sometimes end up writing React code to create front-end widgets or Java code to write any of the backend or any of the server-side coding from Mendix. But again, that's not on a day-to-day basis. Or no questions? It's the
Hi Neil, are you able to hear me?
Hey, hi Satya. Yes, I can hear you.
So, do you have any sessions planned for you know, performance tuning Mendix applications or building applications, with
We
optimizing performance and things like that?
we don't have any session planned right now, but we could certainly plan one. We always look for ideas on planning new sessions. It's very difficult to come up with new ideas, but if you want us to plan something on performance optimization, we would certainly love to do that. It's a really interesting topic. It's a vast topic as well. So, are you looking for anything specific? Like,
I'm just curious on like what kind of volumes have you seen Mendix apps handling? Like in terms of data,
Mhm.
what would be a large app which you have come across
So
in
yeah,
terms of data volume or in terms of you know
yeah,
critical performance expectations or anything you can share?
yeah. So like I have two different customers right now, with whom we deal with a lot of data, right? Um, One customer is a bank, so banks have a lot of like tons and tons of data, right? For every user. Um, but when when you have a lot of data coming in, my recommendation is always to separate your data layer and your logic layer. So, or sorry, logic layer and the front end layer basically. So in that case, I would always consider using the Mendix app as a front end a tool where you do all the business logic, where the users can log in and play around with your application, and or not play around, but it interact with your application and everything. And then your data lives outside your Mendix, and you always bring in only the required data when the user logs in or when it's required. That way, um, that way you can control the performance point of view as well, and you can also make your app as a headless or stateless application, basically, where everything in the app is non-persistent data only. That's one approach. And then the second way of doing things is how much of your data you have, as long as it then all depends on how much you want to display on the pages, how much you want. Performance is mainly impacted on how much data you want to bring in on the page. So even if you have a million records, but you want to show the user 100 records at a time versus 10,000 records at a time in the UI, that those two decisions itself will make a huge difference on the performance. But it's really about um, where all your data is stored. Do you want all your data to be housed in the Mendix application, or you already have it somewhere and you just want to show it in the application? I think.
Okay. Yeah. Then thanks. We'll reach out to you if you have any specific questions and
Definitely.
um
Yeah. Uh, and I guess if no one has any questions, we could end the event here, and then we could certainly um we'll invite all of you guys again when we set up the next one. Um, the the recommendation by Satya is, I think it's a good one. We've always seen people ask about data and performance in Mendix, so certainly a good one, and a deep technical topic as well. Yeah.
correct.
and Patrick has more experience than me, in the whole Mendix world, but I think it's about it changes from use case to use case, and yeah,
Mm. Can I also ask one AI related question?
yeah,
If you have time. So, do you think at one point Mendix was promising, right? Like they could reference across their whole customer base and kind of bring in reference data models and things like that. If I, based on that knowledge they have, I looked at, what Patrick was requesting. That was very specific, right? Like, he kind of almost gave the design to the related to the model, right? Like he wanted exactly the attributes and everything. Do you s- do you s- did you see if you give the kind of a common area like managing receivables or something, like I'm just giving an accounting, or it could be a banking or anything, common commonly used domains. He, has Mendix started giving out like reference data models, or any of the different screens or designs or anything else in this AI?
um, I mean, I'll let Patrick answer on the AI side, but from the privacy point of view, I don't think any customers would stick to.
Yeah, there's something they promised long time back. That is we initial discussion. We are also very new to Mendix. In one of those things, they told us if the customer allows, okay, he first gives the permissions, and and of course they're going to make it kind of anonymize the data model, right? It's not like going to say, this model is from this bank or anything like that. But it's not there at that level at this time. I would.
Right.
It's a very good question, because, for example, for the banking area, there is some normalization that they are put in place. So there is the BIAN, possibly you know it. And why not to propose the BIAN to Mendix for the modeler and see what kind of model is going to be produced. So it will be interesting to show that, for example.
Yeah, it would be, but but uh, but just giving a use case and Mendix giving us all the possible attributes for it is something I have not seen Mendix do it at this point. Now, for the timeline, I don't know if they have if when they would do that, if anything, because um, it's they don't share much news on what's upcoming with us. Um, yeah, but hopefully, Patrick gets to hear more from them because he's an MVP, and um, but again, he has a constraint where he cannot talk about it. So even if he knows, he won't tell us about it. Uh, yeah.
Okay. All right.
No, it's a good question, effectively. So for some models that they can be provided since the beginning, I think if we have a look on the ACP, that's true for some bricks of development. But this is because it's related to Mendix and Siemens. So it's standard.
Okay. All right.
But after that, when you develop an application, each company is going to have its own way how to organize the data.
Okay.
You're welcome.
I think if no one else has any questions, we can end the event here, and um you everyone should have my email by now, so feel free to reach out if you have any questions or just want to talk about Mendix. I love talking with Mendix. I can talk hours and hours.
Yeah. I have just one other things because Neel spoke about capture the flag event in Montreal. So it's free. It's yes, this is an important part.
Yes, the participation for the event is free. So the only price you'll have, or only money you'll have to spend on, is your is traveling to Montreal, which is a beautiful city. That's one, and the second is about staying in Montreal. So
All right, because it's over 2 days.
yeah,
Um,
I've shared a link which has all the information about the event. You can.
all right. So we need to be proud of that because it will be the first time that an Mendix event will be done in Montreal like that.
Or outside Netherlands.
Yes, exact. So the other spots, if you want to go, it's in Hollywood.
Hollywood, and then there are some in South America and other locations out in the rest of the world. Yeah.
Exact. So you're welcome.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for joining. Thanks everyone. See you again soon.